Hello and welcome to the Estate Planning Toolbox. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to check out everything we have going on here. My name is John Connor and I am an attorney in the Trust and Estates Group of Graves Doherty, Heron and Moody, a law firm located in downtown Austin, Texas. This podcast is a client-focused podcast covering various estate planning topics, including wills and trusts, powers of attorney, corporate entities such as LLCs and limited partnerships, probate administration, and everything in between. Thanks very much for stopping by. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Estate Planning Toolbox. I hope that everyone had a wonderful holiday season and has had a good start to your new year. And with that new year in mind and New Year's resolutions in mind, I hope that one of your New Year's resolutions is to either get your estate planning documents prepared and in place or to at least review them and update them if necessary. With that in mind, I wanted to provide you with an estate planning checklist that you can use to further your discussion with your estate planning attorney, whether you're going to be doing all new estate planning for the first time or whether you're going to be simply updating your current estate planning documents. Before we jump into that though, here is today's movie quote of the day.
Oh yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
As always, stick around until the end of the podcast and I will reveal exactly what movie that is from. So as I just mentioned, today we're going to be going through an estate planning checklist. This is not an exhaustive checklist and it doesn't necessarily cover everything you'll need to discuss with your estate planning attorney. The idea here is to simply give you a checklist of items and topics to discuss with your estate planning attorney as you are working on updating or creating your estate plan. Item number 1 on the checklist is going to be the most obvious one, and that is discussing your will. If you don't have a will, I do hope that one of your New Year's resolutions is to get a will, but if you do have a will, now's a really good time to take it out and review it and make sure that what it says, the gifts it makes, the people that it lists as your executor or trustee or anything like that is up to date in who you want it to be and where you want your assets distributed. Some questions that we've discussed before that you should keep in mind when you are considering your will or reviewing your will is number 1, who are your beneficiaries? Who do you want to receive assets from your estate? Number 2, how much or what is each beneficiary going to get from your estate? Are they going to get cash or a particular asset or a simple percentage of your estate? Finally, you need to consider who's going to be in charge, meaning who are you going to appoint as your executor to be in charge of administering your estate and making those gifts to those beneficiaries after you have passed away. After considering your will, you next need to consider your ancillary documents or your powers of attorney. Again, if you don't have them, now's a really good time to contact an estate planning attorney and get those put in place. Or if you do have them, review them. Make sure that the individuals you have named under those documents are who you want them to be and make sure that their contact information is current and up to date. As a reminder, ancillary documents are about incapacity planning. That is planning while you are alive, but when you have lost capacity. For example, maybe you've been in an accident or maybe you're in a coma. The point being, you're not deceased, but you don't have capacity to act for yourself either for financial or medical purposes. The ancillary documents that you should discuss with your estate planning attorney include 1, the statutory durable power of attorney or financial power of attorney, the medical power of attorney, a HIPAA authorization, a directive to physicians, and a declaration of guardian. After you've considered your will and ancillary documents, you also will want to confirm that your beneficiary designations line up with your estate plan. Or in the alternative, if you don't have any beneficiary designations, you should make sure that they are in place and that they do in fact line up with your estate plan. You want to check on life insurance policies, retirement accounts, and bank accounts, just to name a few. Number 4, you may want to consider life insurance. Really, this is going to depend on your own individual circumstances, but life insurance can be a useful tool in an estate plan. It can help you make a gift to a specific beneficiary, or it can also help make sure that funds are available for those final estate expenses. Again, whether or not life insurance is something you need as a part of your estate plan is something you should discuss with your estate planning attorney and, of course, a licensed insurance broker. Number 5, be sure to discuss lifetime gifts with your attorney. If making a gift during your life is something that is important to you, you want to be sure to discuss that with your attorney and understand that there's more ways to make a gift than simply writing a check to somebody. It could be that you want to put it in trust or that you want to pay for their education or for some medical expenses. Just be sure that if lifetime giving is something that's important to you, that you discuss it with your estate planning attorney. attorney. Also, make sure that you discuss any philanthropic goals that you have with your estate planning attorney. They'll be able to discuss with you the different vehicles for making a charitable gift, be that outright or be it in trust or through a private foundation. And they'll also discuss with you the timing of that gift, whether you want to make that gift during life or if it's a gift that would be better made at your death. If you are the owner of a family-owned or closely held business, you should also be sure to discuss business succession planning with your estate planning attorney. You'll want to make sure that a plan is in place that retains key employees, that brings family members into the business at the right time and when you're ready to do that, and will help to ensure the long-term survival of the business itself. You may also want to consider using a trust. Now keep in mind, as we discussed, that trusts, especially revocable trusts, are not a simple one-size-fits-all. You may have friends or relatives that tell you that they have a trust and that you need a trust, and that might be true, but it might also not be true. And so you need to discuss that with your estate planning attorney to determine whether or not a trust is something that makes sense for your estate planning goals. You should also be sure to discuss your final arrangements with your estate planning attorney as well as your family. If you have specific wishes for where you'd like to be buried or for what you would like done with your remains after you have died, that is certainly something that you will need to discuss with your estate planning attorney as well as your family. If necessary, your estate planning attorney can prepare a document in which your wishes regarding your final arrangements will be made known, and an agent will be appointed to help dispose of your remains after you have passed away. Finally, you're going to need to consider how you're going to store your estate planning documents once you have them completed. That would include your will and all your powers of attorney. You want to make sure that they're in a safe and secure location. If you'll be keeping them yourself, that would be in a safe deposit box or in a safe in your home that is both fireproof and waterproof. Or you may also be able to keep them with your attorney. That's just something you'll need to discuss with your estate planning attorney after you have executed your estate planning documents. So there it is, an estate planning checklist for you in this new year to help guide you in your estate planning process or in the review of your estate planning documents. Once again, it's not necessarily an exhaustive list of everything you'll need to discuss with your estate planning attorney, but I do hope it will serve as a guide and provide you with some discussion points in any discussions you might have with your estate planning attorney about implementing a new estate plan and or updating your current estate plan. So that's going to just about do it for today, but before we go, here's the answer to the movie quote of the day, and it is from the movie The Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
Well, thank y'all again for stopping by. Of course, as always, here's my contact information. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to see discussed on the Estate Planning Toolbox, or if you need to discuss any of the items on this checklist, please do not hesitate to send me an email or give me a phone call. And be sure to check back again soon for the next episode of the Estate Planning Toolbox. And thank y'all very much for stopping by.